It has never been easier to drop your Warzone PR, and that's for two reasons. One, because they nerfed SBMM, and two, because they nerfed aim assist. So if you're one of those players that is putting in a little bit of extra time and implementing the things that I talk about in this video, you're gonna be much more likely to drop your Warzone PR. It's time to get good. Okay, as we get rolling here, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you guys enjoy these breakdowns, want me to keep doing them, make sure to show some love. A few little things we gotta get out of the way. One, every single PR game almost always comes in a easier lobby. And the reason it's never been easier to drop your PR is because the nerfs to SBMM, you're getting a lot more easier lobbies and also a lot more harder lobbies. There's a lot more variation in your lobbies. And so, yes, it is going to take an easier / bot lobby to get your PR. You're going to notice that some of the players in this game aren't that good. That doesn't mean that everyone in this lobby is not good. Just that it's a little bit easier on average. It's a little bit more forgiving for some mistakes that we are going to make in this video that I will talk about. Also, want to point out real quick before we drop in, if you're not putting in the time, like 10 minutes shooting bots without aim assist, if you're not putting in that extra little bit of time to improve your mechanics, nothing else in this video matters. Like, I can sit here and give you a prime blueprint for all the phases of Warzone, how to play with the cars, you know, how to keep your cash flow, where to go. But if you can't win your ones, it doesn't matter. So make sure, even just 5-10 minutes, guys, I promise, just a little bit of extra time shooting bots without aim assist, it's going to make you a much better player. Now, we have a new version of Verdansk. This is Signal Station. You need to be dropping here if you're trying to drop your PR. And the reason for that is, we'll talk about in a second. So as I land in here, this guy unfortunately beats me to the gun, but because I have good centering and he's looking the other way, I'm able to get a lot of shots here. Bang. So I break this guy's plates. Now I'm out of ammo. He's running away from me, right? But because I land here all the time, I've been practicing my drops here. I know what this POI looks like, right? I know that if you land here, a lot of times the contract will spawn here. And so this is probably where I'm going to land every single BR Solos game. But the reason I say all that is because I know this guy's going left. I'm not going to be able to chase him. It could get my camera broken. He could rechow me. But if I go through this window over here to the left, I'm actually able to cut him off. And that's what landing in the same location does for you a lot of times, is you'll learn the ins and outs and the little tricks and jump spots and shortcuts that will help you get the edge on your opponent. So whenever possible, try to land in the same location. I think from now on, my recommendation to always hit a scab contract at the beginning of the game might be a little less emphasized, a little less strict. That doesn't mean you don't. But specifically for this version of Verdansk, I think turning on the power and then getting the heat map is going to be much more important than starting off with a contract. Obviously, I'm going to land on one if it's available, but sorry, that was a very long start to this video, but got to get some of the stuff out of the way. So let's hit a little cutoff here. Sometimes I talk about this from, if you want to go from a good to a great player, changing up the angles that people see you from is one of the easiest ways to do that, right? Like, there's going to be so many times in this video, and I will point it out, where I just catch someone looking the wrong direction, and that's because of the way I'm playing. They're not just doing this because they're dumb. They're not shooting back because they're bad. Well, I mean, sometimes they aren't shooting back because they're bad, but a lot of times, really good players make it look very easy because of little stuff like this. Like, had I just ran down that corner, that corridor, this guy was going to easily just, he's got a pre-aim, he's got cover, he's got an AR, I have a pistol, I would have been dead, right? I promise I will try to not pause as much this video. So if you guys don't know how to do the heat map, steps are very simple. There's actually a short on my, you know, everywhere. Reels, shorts, TikTok, there's a video of how to do it very simply. But first step is to turn on the power here. That's gonna kick on the power. Then you need to go, I think you have to hack. Like, you basically just have to go press a button. So you flip the power, we come down here to the second zip line. We press the power. Didn't like the SMG I had there. As we're pushing up here, we see somebody fighting up this zip line, right? So I know there's going to be people on the other side of this. Here on suppressed shots, we look at our map. I hear some footsteps. Tells me it's right. I hear him somewhere right here. And so I just pre-aim and center my crosshair where I'm most likely to see this guy. Now, unfortunately, unable to get the kill there. Dravik has a little bit of a slower fire rate. Missed a couple shots. We get that kill. We get third-partied, and so we just immediately create some space. We got one guy in the window up there, and I'm also hearing some footsteps over here on the left. So I'm going to back it up just a hair here. Listen for the concrete footsteps. So there's concrete footsteps. Where is there concrete footsteps? This direction. right where I just came from, right? And so I know that this guy's probably about to hit the zip just like I did because he's going to see shots up here. He's going to hear shots up here. He might try to third party. And so by backing myself up, I'm keeping everything in front of me. If you're trying to win more games, just trying to stay alive more in Warzone, just keeping everything in front of you is like the easiest way. We're going to be, this video is probably coming out after, yes, this video is coming out after the coaching a subscriber video. And what we really try to focus on is keeping everything in front of us. And so that's what we do here. I know there's a guy down there. I know this guy hit zip. We just shoot him in the back right there. My stun also hits the guy that was back here. So I throw another stun, try to hit a different angle. I thought he was going to be right here, but he actually ends up being in this window. And so I back off real quick. I re-chow thinking he's going to chow here or chow here again. Here's some footsteps right. Just a little bit of re-chow, movement. Hitting different angles, good centering. Really good start to this game, right? Really, really good start to this game. We got 3 kills. But we're still trying to do this Easter egg, this heat map thing. So in this room, somewhere in this room, the button will change constantly. So you're going to see me look around for the button here. This is a really, really important thing to do if you're trying to drop your PR. If you don't do this, you're putting yourself at a huge disadvantage. Now, that doesn't mean you can't drop your PR. I almost dropped 30 kills in this game, and we really don't even get to use the heat map because of a mistake that I talk about. So you're looking for this button, and it will, the screen will be red. The screen will be red. If it's not red, you need to go turn the power back on, okay? So because I was in this long extended gunfight with, 2 or 3 people, I have to go turn the power back on. So I'm going to skip a little bit ahead here. We turn the power back up. We go back there, turn the power on. I come back over here. Let me back up. I want to get to the button so you guys can see what the button's supposed to look like. Wait, did I mess up here? Yeah. I went ahead and didn't press the button. Sorry, a little bit of confusion here. So we're looking for that button. I kind of remembered where it was roughly. So you'll see right here, it's going to have that red screen on it when you can use it. So hit. So power, then you hack the button. You come up here to the main area. And you hit X here. That's going to activate the radar system. And I really like sitting in this corner here because you can kind of keep everything in front of you. Because it's going to take a little bit of time, right? Like you don't instantly get the heat map the second you do that. So I kind of just chill in this corner. I did hear someone parachuting behind me. So I'll just kind of visually check it, see if a guy pushes down. I got some time to kill here, right? Because I got to wait for this to finish. The way you'll know this is finished is if the heat map flashes like very briefly on the screen. So pay attention to that. By the way, if you guys are in the market for a controller, use code Berger at Scuff Controllers. It's a really great way to improve your game. If you have multiple paddles, you can keep your thumbs on the sticks. I recommend the Envision Pro, which is what I use, the Reflex, and the Valor Pro. Those are all great controllers. So once you see this pop on the screen, you're going to come over here and you're going to hit Download Tactical Heat Map. This is really important. We're not just looking for the information here. We're wanting, you get to take this with you. You download it, and every time you look at your map from now on, you'll have this heat map, right? I'm going to see if I look at the map here real quick. Do I look at the map? Yep. Okay, so you're going to have green, yellow, orange, red. And those are just basically heat zones. Green means there's nobody there. Yellow means there might be 1 or 2 people there. Orange means there's, a lot of people there. And red means there's a lot of people there, right? And so the reason this is going to be important, and we're not going to talk about it much in this video, because I actually end up losing this, but I could have easily dropped 35, 40 in this game had I not died and kept this on me. Because what this allows you to do is use your UAVs much, much, much more efficiently. We talk about when you're trying to chain together a lot of kills and you're trying to get together contracts and stuff, popping your UAV in the area where you think there are people is one of the best ways to make sure you're using your UAV efficiently, getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 kills and contracts done. But this makes sure that you know for a fact that, hey, when I come over to this POI, I know there's at least 1 or 2 people here. That way, when I pop my UAV, I'm not wasting it, right? Because the way you scale your cash is using your UAVs to get more money. Think of it as an investment, right? Like you don't want to invest your UAV into no kills because that's a negative $6,000. But if you invest your UAV and you get 2, 3 kills and a bounty completed, now you're net positive on your cash and you can chain that into more UAVs. So if you're trying to drop your PR, this thing is very, very, very important on Battle Royale. This is only available on Verdansk. This is one of the coolest things they've added. Really liking this. This is one of the best POIs they've added to Verdansk ever. So, had a little bit of cash here. We get loadout and UAV. I will drop... Actually, I might have the screenshots. I might have the screenshot. No, I don't have the screenshots, but I will put the screenshots for my builds in the description. It's basically just MXR17, monolithic suppressor, control barrel, 3x sight, stock. You can kind of see it down here. Don't put too much stock in the builds, guys. The builds aren't everything. But I do think the MXR17 and the SMG I'm using, the MPC, I think that's what it's called, hands down the best guns. They do have a little bit of recoil. They are a little bit higher skill. Hands down the best guns, though. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about, when you're trying to drop your PR, vehicles are very, very important. And I get a lot of comments asking me to do like a vehicle guide. I don't know if I'll ever do that, but in this video specifically, I am going to try to talk more about vehicles. And obviously having a helicopter is a huge advantage. Like, if I was able to keep my heat map and helicopter in this game, this would have easily been 40 kills. I mean, who knows what would have happened. Maybe I died, get shot down. But vehicles are very important, so we will talk about that. In this scenario, I'm seeing this guy kind of looking this way. He just got loadout. And this is when I started to realize this lobby might be a little bit easier, because this guy doesn't really have any awareness here. He's looking over here. You know, he's tunnel visioned on, you know, somebody over here. He's probably sniping. And he doesn't see me here. So this is one of those indicators of like, hey, this guy doesn't have a lot of awareness. Maybe I'm in a little bit of an easier lobby. Again, that doesn't mean everyone in here is a bot. But sometimes that changes up my calculus in my head of like, I can go a little faster. I can be a little bit more reckless. I can be take a little bit more risk when I know I'm in an easier lobby. Okay, so we have a UAV up. We have the heat map up. I know there's a bunch of people here. Got some people behind us, but I want to use my UAV now to complete a contract, right? That's what I'm trying to do. I already popped a UAV, got 1 kill out of it. Now I want to use that UAV to get a bounty kill. I'm going to skip a little bit ahead. Unfortunately, we lost our helicopter. That was mistake number 1 I made in this game. It got stuck or disabled. Mistake number 2 I make in this game. Honestly, laughable here. So I get out here anticipating that guy to be there. He ends up being above me. And so right away, mistake number 2, I give up high ground a little bit. Now, I wouldn't really call this a mistake because how am I supposed to know? But I go to hop off because I was going to back up to the tank and, you know, like try to reposition because I don't want to be directly underneath this guy. There's nothing I can do, right? So I'm looking to reposition here a little bit. I get myself sandwiched between the trains. Can we get an F in the comments? Can we get an F in the comments? Look at my face, bro. Look at my face. Oh, you can't see it now. Crap. That's so funny, man. Let me turn that back on. Okay, so I'm back. F in the comments for that. A little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is. I still end up dropping a really crazy game. It's not my PR, but like it just goes to show you can die in your games and still drop really good games. Okay, strat in the gulag is always kind of the same. Knife out, sprint up, hold an angle. Get a little bit weird timing here. He wasn't peeking, so I throw the grenade. I center here because I could kind of tell that guy didn't have awareness. Get some shots. Now I want you to pay attention to right here. As I'm sliding, I'm pre-firing. So I'm centering my crosshair. I'm already ADSing, and I pre-fire because I was kind of anticipating him to run, right? Like, the average person that gets hit by a grenade and shot is going to run across here. And so I was just trying to get ahead of the game here and see if I can get some shots. Doesn't end up being what happened, but is what it is. Okay, so we went from the early game to mid-game phase to now we're in the regain phase. How can I get back into the game as soon as possible? It kind of goes back to regain phases are a lot like end games, right? Like, you just want to get back into the game as soon as you can. I lost my heat map. I'm kind of starting over from square one. Doesn't mean the game's over, right? Like, I actually thought about, like, believe it or not, this moment right here, I thought about backing out of the game because I'm not streaming right now. Like, at this point, I'm just recording and I'm trying to get, you know, good videos, good gameplays for these breakdowns. And sometimes when I die, like, right off the rip, or I know the game's not going to be good, sometimes I'll back out. But just goes to show, like, sometimes if you stick in your games, it can be good. So we're basically just starting over here. This is basically like cut, brand new early game phase. So in my mind, I want to go for a scavenger contract because I want to get my cash flow going. I've already completed a bounty, I think. No, I did not complete it. No, I don't have any contracts completed yet. Yeah, because it was showdown here. So we're trying to get our contracts going. Obviously, I'm using the scav to get a satchel, get cash for the loadout. Talk about this a million times in the video. Trying to talk about and hit different things. Let me know down in the comments what you guys are struggling with in Warzone. What do you want me to make videos about? So I know kind of what to talk about. As we're jumping out here. Right here. So we see a guy straight ahead here running into Big Red. Running into Big Red. And this is an example of a dead fight. So when you're dropping your PR or you're trying to play very fast and drop high kill games, you need to know when to leave fights. Whenever I see someone going into red building, big red, big blue, any of these kind of buildings where like there's only one way to get to them, I would say about 70% of the time I leave it, right? Unless they're going to give it to me for free, I don't spend too much time on this. Because if I waste too much time on this, that loses me 3, 4, 5 kills later in the game, right? And so if this guy is going to give this to me for free, if he's going to make the mistake, right, I'm going to take it. Try to bait him out with some shots. I see him running up the stairs. At this point, there's nothing I can do. Like, I would have to invest a lot of time and take a very large risk because this guy's probably just going to sit at the top of the stairs or at the top of the ladder and hold me, right? So this is an example of a dead fight. Dead fight is something you want to leave because the contract is more important here. Now, with that said, that guy just heard me run out there, heard me bust through the door, hears me running out away from him. He might check this, right? So I do need to be a little bit careful. Do need to be a little bit careful here. I'm just keeping that in mind. Trying to be a little bit of a harder target, sliding around, jumping around. I'm not too worried about it, right? Because I know I have good movement. Unless this guy is a really good sniper, I'm not dead. And you can kind of see I scan here a little bit. I thought this little thing was a person, but it's not. So, just pointing that out. Finishing up our scab contract here. Not going to waste a bunch of time on this. Even as I'm coming up here, I pop my UAV and I'm still looking, right? Like I'm still checking just to make sure this guy's not sniping. And you can see him right here. He's lost. He's just like, imagine I just completed an entire scavenger contract in the time that this guy would have just been holding me from the top of the ladder, right? And that was probably a minute or two of in-game time, right? So these things matter. These things matter. Okay. So we got scav contract done. We got 12 grand. Get our loadout here. I'm already thinking about next steps. What do I want to do? I want to get another contract here. I'm willing to invest a little bit of time in the early game into contracts, or in the mid game into contracts, because I know that that's going to give me cash later in the game to pop a bunch of UAVs, which I do end up doing. We saw on the map. This is why map awareness is really big. Let me back it up just a hair here. Right here. Saw on the map the dirt bike driving towards me. And so after I throw the trophy system down, I go and check it. I go and face check it. Go and face check it. So I turn around. I was anticipating the dirt bike to drive towards me. I was going to fry him off the dirt bike, but he actually ends up getting out right here and running into the train. Right? Gets out, gets into the train. Now he's on the four-wheeler. So if we zoom back out here, we hear the brum, brum of the quad, and then my eyes go up here and bang, we see the guys on the quad. So now I'm like, all right, this guy's gonna drive one direction. I'm gonna mount up because that's gonna reduce my recoil, and I'm just gonna try and fry this guy. This is another indicator. Like this is a rocket skin. This is the bot default skin in Warzone. This is another indicator like that this isn't the greatest lobby, right? This guy's driving away from me in a straight line, which is something someone like me would never do. I would never drive across someone's screen in a straight line. And then obviously, you know, just the default skin. So mount up. I get to the edge of my mount. You're going to see it like kind of stops for me there. I can't turn anymore. So I have to bail out of that. This thing hits like a truck. If you can figure out the recoil, this thing is insane. So if you really struggle with recoil, you can use the compensator, but I highly recommend not doing that. So free kill right here too. I'm not going to talk about this one too much. Actually, I am going to talk about this. Talked about vehicles. I'm going to try and focus on vehicles a little bit. So you're going to see me a lot in this game change up the angle that someone sees the vehicle from, right? So in this case, this is like a really easy kill. Oops, let me zoom out. One thing also, I put trophy systems on the driver's side of the car. I don't know if you noticed that. I put trophy systems on the driver's side of the car. That way, if I'm driving at someone, my trophy system is actually going to eat the damage and not me. That seems like a little thing, but that could literally save your life, and it does. So that's a little vehicle tip. Switching seats is a vehicle tip. Also, like, moving perpendicular from your car, right? Like, my car's going this way, and I get out and slide really hard to the right. Now, I want you to look, once this guy peeks. Gotta catch a better frame here. Crap. Okay, so if we zoom in, where's he looking, right? Same deal as earlier. Same deal as earlier. Change the angles people are seeing you from. Not only does this work with, you know, the very first kill of the game, remember that very first kill of the game when that guy anticipated me coming from the tunnel and I hit a different angle? Same thing with the vehicles. Vehicles are so good in Warzone because it's very hard to tell when someone gets out of the vehicle, and you can use that to your advantage. And so not only do you want to use that to your advantage, but like if you're not so great a player, you're not comfortable in cars, you need to be really careful around cars, right? We got a car pulling up right now. Got a car pulling up on me right now, and so you're going to kind of see me. Look how I play here. I immediately move myself up to a piece of cover, right? That way if this guy can't run me over. And also if he gets out, I'm in a better position. Now this guy ends up driving away. So, is what it is. We'll skip a little bit ahead here. We come over here to do a bounty. Okay, so this is going to actually end up being an example of what I see. You know, it's going to be a difference between me, a good player, and this guy who's a good player but makes a big mistake, a big, crucial mistake that I see a lot of players make, and you're going to see me do the right thing, him do the wrong thing. What I want to point out here is how I use my cover. So right away, I realize this guy's pretty, like, has decent shots, right? He smashes my plates here. I'm almost one shot. Now, what do I do when I get shot? Do I just lay down and hide and, oh, I'm scared and pop my plates? No. Throw a Molotov at him first. And now I'm going to shoulder while I plate. See, I'm like ducking, moving, shouldering, constantly gathering info, popping up from different angles. But when I shoot this guy, what does he do? He just lays down. He just lays down. And he doesn't check any angle. He doesn't shoulder. He doesn't pop up. He's not plating and checking at the same time. When you're in a close-range gunfight like this, or even a long-range gunfight, when you get shot, when you start plating, check what's happening, because a good player is going to punish you when they know you can't see them. They are going to punish you for that, right? So because I get first shots, I move up. This guy doesn't know that I'm right on top of him. Now it's just GG, right? Like, I'm on top of him. He's dead before he can even react. And he was a decent player, right? Like, he got good shots on me. I actually made a mistake and strafed a little bit too far off of my cover on my car here. But because while I was plating, I was actually checking for info, making sure this guy wasn't pushing me for free, I was able to, you know, win this gunfight. So, a little bit of a long-winded explanation. Hopefully that makes sense. A little bit of a sloppy gunfight out of me, too. I strafed too far off of my car. Pop the munitions box because I wanted more Molotovs here. The reason I pop it is because I'm confident that I have another trophy system. Right? Notice how, again, I pop it on my driver's side. All right. Speed, information, speed, information. That's really all PRs are about. It's really all PRs are about. Pop a UAV, hold a UAV. Should have probably grabbed some plates there. But we're trying to chain together contracts, right? I want to use my UAV to get another kill. Now, you might be like, Berger, you pop a UAV and you're only, like, there's only one guy around you. Why did you pop that UAV so early? You talk all the time about getting to the bounty, then popping the UAV. Well, the reason I do that is because I had 18 grand, right? So I can pop one and hold one and still have enough money to buy another one. That's the advantage to having a bunch of cash, is you can just constantly throw up UAVs and have information, which is such a huge advantage. Just having cash and being in a car is such an advantage in Warzone. You need to learn and get comfortable with the cars. I get a lot of comments, people asking me like, how do I play fast without cars? You can't. You're not gonna be able to play fast without a car. Yes, you can still drop high kill games, but again, this is one of those things that most people know, but like, you'd be very surprised based on the comments I see. Okay, so prime example of a building camper. I get asked all the time, what do you do when there's just a guy chilling in a building, right? He's got claymores, he's got spring mines. I don't know how to push him. How do I push buildings? Textbook right here. All right, so I have the information, right? Step one is have the information. We saw the red dot ping on the map here. The next step is to just clear every angle one by one by one by one. The mistake a lot of people make is they just kamikaze run into the room. They're not looking at their, first of all, they don't have the UAV up. Then they just kamikaze into a place that they don't have information on. They get shot or they, you know, get blown up by a claymore, and then they complain and ask why they died to a camper. You need to analyze your mistakes. And so just from playing a lot of campers, pushing a lot of buildings, this is such a simple like concept. Just check every angle, right? I slide out here. He's not here. Slide out here. He's not here. Shoulder. He's not here. Shoulder again. He's not here. Check the bathroom. He's not here. Shoulder here. He's not here. Oh, now he's in, like, obviously that guy's laying down. He's probably AFK. Not a great example, but it just goes to show, like, it's very, very repetitive and very easy to do if you just check every angle, have information, play confidently, have good centering. Like, campers aren't that complicated. So, all right, now what? Now what do we want to do? This is one of those crucial decisions that you can make in a game when you don't have the UAV up, you don't have the heat map, you don't have the information. We talk about going to an area where you think you're most likely to see people, right? Where you're most likely to see people, then pop the UAV, okay? And so you can kind of see right here where I'm going. The reason I end up going over here is because, I hear shots over here. So I know there's at least 2 people. 2, I see a helicopter over here. So that means this area has been hit. There's people over here. I'm going to come over here, pop my UAV, and go from there. Just a best guess. I don't know for sure, but it's just a best guess, right? It's also on the edge of the zone. So there's a couple little things I'm looking for there. Should I take that gunfight? Guy on high ground, 1 guy outside the zone? Probably not, right? So I just get away from it. I know that I can actually pick him up even later if I want, right? He's going to have to rotate eventually. So now as we get to Storage Town, I pop my UAV. I get the free information. We got one guy on top of pool hall right here, right? Like we got one guy on top of pool, 1 guy on our level, okay? So I'm centering my crosshair. I'm most likely to see that guy. But then I realized this is a bigger threat, right? This is a bigger threat. What's more important to me? Guy in high ground shooting at me or guy hiding in a cubby shooting at me? Okay? So what I want to also point out is just remember that this guy's in the cubby. Okay? Just remember this guy's in the cubby. That's going to come into play. So now we're in a situation that a lot of people struggle with. How do you deal with a sniper that's on high ground, that's holding you, right? Like this is a disaster situation for a lot of people. What I want you to pay attention to here is how much I move. I call it shoot and move. I've talked about it a lot of my videos. If you can shoot someone just enough, right? Like I'm not trying to kill this guy unless he's going to give it to me for free. I'm not trying to kill him. I'm just trying to do enough damage to him to make him jump down, to make him hide, to make him plate. I'm going to use that lack of vision that he has against him, right? So I'm going to shoot, break his plates. He's going to duck down. What am I going to do? I'm going to plate up, come from a different angle. Make him shoot, move, pop back out. He doesn't see me. Now I know that he doesn't see me. I'm going to hit a completely new angle here. Right? He's not here. Shoot and move. Hit up from a new angle. Almost get a haircut there. Shoot, move again. Shoot, move again. Break this guy's plate, throw a Molotov at him. Now he actually hits me. Good job, buddy. You hit your 4th sniper shot. So now I just hit behind my cover, move around a little bit. Again, we talked about earlier, don't just lay down behind your cover and play scared. Check. Like when you're plating, you can pop shoulders, you can peek up, you can peek left, peek right. Make sure that this guy's not jumping down on top of you, right? So basically, if we back up just a little bit here, when you're dealing with a sniper that's on high ground, really what you want to do is you want to keep popping shots at them, keep moving, but keep advancing towards their position. Because all I'm trying to do right now is get underneath him and get inside of pool, right? I know there's a zip line on the other side of pool, and I know there's a ladder on the other side of pool. I can use that to get up to the roof, but in order to do that, I need to get there first, right? So we just use shoot and move, constantly changing the angles this guy sees me from. Get underneath him. Mission accomplished. Okay, so now I'm looking to make a very aggressive play. I know there's a zip line on the backside of pool, but how do I want to do this? Do I just want to hit the zip line? No. You can hear him up there. You can hear him running up there, right? Like he can hear me down here. If I hit the zip, I'm going to die. So what do? Do I bail out of this fight? No, I have some tools. I have a smoke and I have a munition. I have 2 smokes and a Molotov. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to throw a smoke up onto the roof. I'm going to throw a Molotov up on the roof. All of that stuff is going to break his aim assist, like smoke breaks aim assist. And because I believe in my ability to, even without aim assist, win the gunfight, like it just gives me enough cover. That way he can't just pre-aim at me and kill me, right? So smoke pops. I notice he's not holding from the left angle. He's sitting right in front of me. What do? I jump over into the smoke. Now I'm sitting on the edge of the smoke. Gonna break this guy's aim assist. Yes, my aim looks like trash because I don't have aim assist and I'm jumping up and down on top of one of those little white things. But when you see a sniper on high ground, it's not over. You can pop shots, move, get to their power position, work them down one by one, okay? So that's how we deal with that. All right. Now, I am still 3-bar threat here. 3-bar threat means the bounty is very close to me. And so I immediately, I'm trying to protect my power position. I'm trying to do what this guy didn't. I'm trying to make sure no one gets underneath me. And then I just, you know, happen to see this guy right here. I don't know what he's doing, but... Free kill. All right, cool. Thanks for the money, brother. It's also really easy to drop PRs right now because there's a surplus of cash. I don't know why there's so much money on the map. They're probably going to nerf that. They're probably going to adjust aim assist because people are going to complain about it. They're probably going to increase the SBMM because people are going to complain about it. And they're probably also going to nerf the cash because having so much cash is honestly just bad for the game. So right now is the best time to drop a PR. Okay, so we're out of this gunfight. We've kind of cleared that. What did we talk about earlier? What did I tell you to remember earlier? Remember prior information. When you use a UAV, you want to soak up as much of that information as possible. The last place I saw another kill or another player is in this exact cubby. And so as I'm rotating over here to the buy station, I make sure that I check this cubby, and what do you know? That guy's still in the same exact cubby, right? You can hear his footsteps there, so I just slide out with good centering. Slide out with good centering there, it's easy peasy. I actually, if we back up, I'll shut up. You're gonna hear a parachute as well. You hear a parachute cut sound right there. So now I know there's a guy over here in between me and my buy station. Listen. Hear a very... You guys aren't going to be able to hear that. I promise you're not going to be able to hear that. We hear a very subtle footstep. And even right now, I don't know. Like, I know this guy's in a cubby. I just don't know which cubby. Like, I also am halfway considering he's in here. And so I heard the parachute cut, right? That alerted me to, hey, there's a guy somewhere nearby. And then just because I cover up my own audio a little bit by crouching, I'm able to hear like 1% of a footstep somewhere close by. And so from this point, it's just making an educated guess what's most likely to happen here. And so I just check one of the cubbies. As I'm jumping down, we see the guy right here. Again, it's not rocket science, guys. Again, I don't expect you to hear that. If you're struggling with audio, that's another thing that we should probably talk about is like, information is everything in Warzone. It is everything. And I rely on audio so much. So much so that I get comments about like, oh, how did you know that guy was there? I made an audio guide for you guys. If you have not watched the audio guide and you struggle with audio cues, if you learn those footstep sounds, those footstep cues, it will change your game. So make sure you guys watch that audio guide. It's one of my most recent uploaded videos. All right, so we have 13 with 37. It's a decent game so far. I know that I'm at least gonna get a 20 here if I don't die. So again, we pop UAV, hold one, because I have a ton of cash now. And I want to grab this big game bounty because one, it's nearby. Two, it's going to give me a ton of information if I complete it, right? I don't even know if I end up completing this big game bounty, but let's come back over here. We popped a UAV. We saw like 4 red dots right over here. And so I just drive over to the car. Drive over to the car because it's the last place I saw people. Again, don't know what this guy's doing. Cosplaying as a gargoyle or a statue, I guess. Pop another UAV. Collect information, right? We got bang, bang, bang. Which gunfight should I go to first? Where should I go? I'm going to go here. The reason I'm going to go here is because, one, it's probably the closest gunfight to me. I mean, this guy's a little bit, you know, like, similar distance. This guy's close to me. He's on a buy station. That way, if I want to do something at the buy station afterwards, I can do that. And because I have a UAV popped right now, when I get over there, I might get more UAV pings of the people over here. And so if you're trying to drop high kill games, multitasking is very important. You want to be always achieving multiple objectives at once, thinking about your next steps. If I come over here, yes, I'm going to get that 1 kill, but I know that there's no one over here already because it's already in my range. I already know there's no one over here. But if I go over here, I might pick up some people that I didn't see that direction. I'm also going to be near a buy station. So if you're trying to drop high kill games, multitask. Try to achieve multiple things at the same time. You need to be efficient with your cash, your kills, your time, your speed. All of that stuff matters when you're like, every little thing matters. Okay, let's back up a second here. want to talk a little bit about cars. Whenever I drive a car by a piece of cover, that's always an opportunity for me to get out of the car. Because I know that that guy's not going to see me. I'm going to dip a little bit down here, right? Because the elevation is going to drop here. I'm going to kind of go into a little ditch. So what you're going to notice what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my car this way. I'm going to get out of the car as I'm in the dip, and I'm going to slide behind this rock. So all of that is to throw off this aim just enough, right? Because if I just get out of the car right now and stand here, he's probably already staring at me. But by taking the car this way, getting out this way, behind a piece of cover, it's all just enough to add up to me getting first shots, right? The fundamentals of a gunfight are get first shots, track better. Bang. This guy was looking at the car just long enough for me to be able to get my crosshair on top of him. Vehicle place. And what do you know? I came over here and we get another red dot ping, just like I said earlier. Don't even need to hit the buy because this guy had another UAV. I also got a couple more pings, you know, farther down this way. Right? Like we wouldn't have got this ping. We wouldn't have got this ping. By coming over here, we got 2 extra pieces of information. Now, what do I want to do from here? What do I want to do from here? I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer here. You could argue like, hey, let's go bang, bang, bang. But I know that there's going to be a lot more in between me over here. And this big game bounty is also just really far away. And so in my mind at the time, it made sense to just go pick up this free kill really quick because I know there's nothing else here. Once I kill this guy, I can then worry about all that other stuff. That might be the wrong decision. Willing to admit that. Willing to admit that. But it's what I end up doing. So, I don't want to waste my UAV over here. I already know this guy's over here, right? I already know he's over here. I don't need to burn the UAV. What I want to do here is, you're going to hear me honk. I'm just trying to bait this guy out. I just want to get him to look. I just want him to tell me where he is, whether he's going to shoot me or peek. That's exactly why I did that. So he would peek me. Now I have you know, perfect information. Use my cover. Center my crosshair. This guy's a bot. Easy peasy. I hear a car driving towards me. Turn around. Pop some claymores because they were on me. Now I just bait this guy into driving towards me. Slide out of the way at the last second. I thought he got out of the car. Right? Like this is how much I think about vehicles. Is like you need to be very wary of the person getting out of the car. And so I thought maybe he saw that and like got out of the car and was going to chow me and try and shoot me in the back. So I initially chowed here. Then I was like, oh, maybe he's dead. He's not dead. I didn't get the, you know, the cue for the death. So then I turn around. That kill. I can end up killing that guy a couple times. Loot up. On to the next thing. On to the next thing. Come over here. Burn our UAV. I think I actually end up popping an advanced here. Maybe not. No, I don't pop in advance. Got one guy floating in. Now we got information. There's people on the buy down here. Cool. Big game bounty is going to fail because it took me too long to do it. That's like another reason why I kind of decided to go over to where we just killed that last guy. Is because like, yes, I still had some time on the big game bounty, but like big game bounties are good players. They know how to draw out gunfights. If he's on top of a roof, like it just didn't feel like a sure thing, especially not knowing fully what's in between me and him. So just explaining that. Come over to the buy because I saw two pings. Whenever you see two pings and you're on PR pace and they're really close to each other, you want to try and get there quick because you don't want them to fight, right? Like you don't want to lose one of those kills. I know there's another person here. I have a ton of cash. So I just pop my UAV, get concrete information. I see him inside here, right? Like, he's inside the building on my level. The only place he can be is right there. The only place he can be is right there. Start with pre-fire. Slide back out. Nothing complicated there. Okay, get a fat bag. That's what I'm talking about. There's so much cash on the map right now. So from here, I'm like, all right, let's pop an advanced UAV. Pop an advanced UAV, and then we hold one. Right? Always playing with information. Now I know where everyone is, right? We got kind of a group of people down here. Group of people, group of people, group of people, group of people. Biggest group of people is this direction. Biggest group of people is this direction. I think I actually end up going this way because I was also thinking about the next big game bounty. Excuse me. So I know that I can kind of like come over here and then work my way through all these guys and then make my way back to a buy station and a bounty. Again, thinking way ahead. You could literally argue for anything here. Probably not train station because like they're up high. It's only 2 guys. This guy, maybe if I want the helicopter, but it's 1 guy. Over here kind of puts me on the outside of the zone. This would have been a viable option, right? Like come over here, kill 1, 2, 3 maybe, and then have a buy station. But in my mind, the most optimal play, me making a decision in, 1 second of time, was come clear out 3 or 4 of these guys, hit the buy station, hit the big game bounty at the end. So there's not always a perfect decision. And you can always look back and be like, oh, I could have done this, I could have done this, I could have done this. There was a lot of things in this game that led to me not getting the 30. I don't think this was one of them. I would probably say me dying early and losing the heat map. Obviously, anytime you die, it's not great. But yeah. So working off the live information here as I drive up, I see that the ping turns from above me to on my level. So now I know this guy's inside the building here. Same thing as before. Just playing really aggressive. I know that this lobby is pretty free, and so like I'm playing a lot. Like again, I talked about this earlier. When I know I'm in a bot lobby or an easier lobby, I'm playing a lot more aggressive. I'm taking a lot more risks. As I'm driving over here, I'm sort of pinging the next things I want to do. Live pinging the kill after this kill. Unfortunately, oh no, this fight's quick. This fight's quick. Nothing really to say there. Slowly work him down. All right, so we got 2 kills. Not the most efficient. 2 kills. We come over to the buy. We pop into their advanced. Buy 3 UAVs so I can pop 3, hold 1. Pick up some plates because I need them. Grab the big game bounty. Again, constantly playing with information. This is what happens when you play aggressive. You're doing contracts. You're getting a lot of kills. It's never been easier to drop your PR. Never been easier. Take a little bit of time here to try and torch this guy's helicopter a little bit. Just because I don't want him floating in the end game with the helicopter. Alright. Pretty obvious to go that direction with that cluster of people there. But as I drive over, I notice that this guy lands in the warehouse right there. So, on my way over to the big game bounty, pick up an easy kill. Well, I wouldn't say it's easy, but like, take a little bit of high ground here. We're just flying. We're just flying. Forgot to plate there, but I ended up plating. This fight, as I'm driving out of here, I noticed that this guy's rotating. I have live information. He's rotating in. So I was thinking right here, I don't want to let this guy into the house. I don't want to let him in the house. This is also on my way to the big game bounty. We still have 2 minutes on that. So I drive over here. Don't play this the best. Unfortunately, I kind of lose sight of him. My eyes were thinking, the last time I saw this guy with my eyes, it was here. And now I'm kind of looking here, like sort of trying to scan, and I'm not necessarily looking at the map because I'm trying to focus on where to center my crosshair. So as I get out of the car, he actually ends up being here instead of here, which kind of throws off my fight a little bit. Could have shot a little earlier, kind of get ripped. Good shots out of this guy. I thought about rechalling, but rechalling probably would have got me killed. Right, the rechal would have definitely got me killed there. The second I heard him stop shooting, now I'm shouldering immediately. Like, notice how I go from defense to offense so quick. Like, that's such a subtle thing. Like, I don't rechal here, but when I hear him stop shooting, now I start shouldering. Put on 2 plates. I rechal thinking he was going to run through because I plated and he didn't. A lot of subtle things that I did there that are very important, but that guy hit some good shots. Pop another advanced UAV. Hold a UAV. And now we're gonna go use that advanced UAV to go kill this guy. I always, whenever I'm doing a bounty or a big game bounty, try to go into that with information, right? I wanna make sure that I have a UAV for that because a big game bounty is usually a better player because the big game bounty has a lot more kills, so. Thinking about my next step. Always thinking steps ahead. What do I want to do next? I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this. Not just tunnel visioning on one thing. Now, I did have to think about here. What if this guy claymores? What if he spring mines? Yada, yada. Run over this guy. And then I end up getting out of the car here. guy actually ended up having a claymore. So I'm glad I got out of the car. If you're wondering why the claymore didn't go off there, it's because he disconnected. And like, after you kill him, his claymore goes away, so. Alright, so at this point, I still have... I have 1 kill of leeway to get the 30 bomb. Right? I have 25. There's 6 people left. I need 5 of the 6. Unfortunately, this guy doesn't end up doing what I want him to do. And he plays a smoke. A lot of times when someone plays a smoke, that indicates to me that they're on keyboard mouse when they throw a smoke on themselves in a close range situation. And so I slow down a little bit here because I thought this guy was trying to bait me into the house. And this I have to take this fight a little bit slower, right? Like if I run up there, I don't have aim assist and he does, that's bad for me, right? So again, have to take this fight a little slower. Claymore the outside in case he jumps out. I know he's got to come to me, right? Like if we look at the map, like eventually this guy has to move. And so I don't have to push this. I do not have to push this, right? I can just play my cover, play smart, hold an angle, and listen. He's still running up there, still shooting. Then you hear him vault, break glass, parachute. As I was shooting this guy, I saw some tracers from the right. I heard somebody shooting from the right, and I also see tracers. So the second I get out of this gunfight, I'm immediately back to cover, right? Immediately back to the house. Pop my UAV for information because I'm a little scared here. I don't know what's going on. I don't know where this guy is. Once I have the information, now we go on offense, right? When you have a power position, don't let the guy into your house. Don't give up your power position. So I immediately just snake my way through the house, hold the irons on the doorway. He peeks. Easy peasy. King Julian. Alright, so 30 bombs gone at this point. There's only 2 other players. I have 27, so the most we can get is 29. I ping this guy because I see him on my map. I don't want to lose the info. Then we go down to 1v1. So now I know it's just a 1v1. It's a 1v1 and this guy's on the outside of the zone. When you have a 1v1 and the guy's on the outside of the zone, what do you want to do? You want to make sure you don't give him the zone for free. Okay? So I drive over here, try to prevent this guy from getting in the zone. I want to see if I can see him. I'm kind of third person peeking with the car. Talked earlier, I want to talk more about cars. A lot of times you want to turn your passenger side towards them because that'll give you a lot of cover. And when you get out of the vehicle, it's going to put you on this side of the vehicle, right? So I'm kind of turning. I'm using the car to, you know, peek over these rocks, try and figure out where this guy is, right? But I'm also giving myself a piece of cover if he does end up being somewhere else. Same thing as earlier. I kind of drive around, sort of try to bait him out, see where he's at. You know, scanning the horizon here, trying to see if I can just see a little movement. I'm just trying to get information on where this guy is. Once I don't get it, I'm like, all right, I know there's a train coming. Let's go just pop a UAV and finish this game off. Make a very, very critical decision here that saves my life. Some people in this situation, just because they have 41 grand, would try to pop an advanced UAV. If I popped an advanced UAV here, I would have died. Because this guy is sniping, sees me hit the buy station, I'm vulnerable on the buy station, he gets 1 shot off that breaks my plates. I only get 1 UAV though, because if I get 2 UAVs, it's going to kill me. I also don't need 2 UAVs, I just need 1. I just need to know where the last guy is. I don't need, you know, an advanced UAV here. So he snipes, I bail out, I use this train as cover. Also do something a little sneaky here. I notice that this piece of cover is moving to the left. And so I know that guy saw me going right, is probably centering that way. And I kind of noticed that I could hide behind this and then pop up from a different angle. Like, this is all the things that are kind of going through my head. I'm always playing offense and defense. Always. So from here, I just need to get back to plates. I want to throw my smokes, get to my car, slide back to the wall here, smoke my car, pop my muni for more stuff. And now we play aggressive. Ego child the sniper a little bit, be a hard target with my car, use the trees to my advantage, use the terrain to my advantage. Prime example of using the car will almost 99% of the time against the average player, they will follow the car and not you. And so this is a prime example. Once I'm on a piece of cover here, I get out of the car. I slide away from it. He tracks the car this way. And before he realizes it, as he's correcting, it's too late. I break plates, get aggressive here. Nice little 28 piece. Could have been 35-40 if I played it optimally. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go watch the audio guide. I got a controller settings video coming out soon. Having a lot of fun playing Warzone right now.